I had Ryan Day on the hot seat last season, so it's more of the same. You've yet to beat Michigan. Let's just start there. That alone has the clock ticking. Top of the top, episode 258, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And this is just an episode. Saw some topics you may want to hear about. Thank you for tuning in as well. Podcasts available on all streaming platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Subscribe to your preferred audio platform. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Check out this show. All love, greatly, greatly appreciated. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend, safe month. So far, this is my first episode of August. I've been taking a little break, took like a month off. But I'm back, the show back in rotation, and hope all is well. Hope all is well. The kids going back to school, parents working, vacations, all that good stuff, man. Just working, whatever you got to do to make it through the day. Day by day, take it easy, y'all. But this week, a lot to talk about, obviously. Like I said, my first episode in about 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm going to catch up on some things with music, save that for later on in the episode, talk about my vacation because I do want to talk about the Lucky Daye concert I went to. Save that for later. Got some wrestling stuff to talk about. We got the Bash in Berlin event going down this Saturday. I'm going to get to that. But there's only one place for me to start, the return of college football, the return of football in general. Because for me, it started Friday. High school football, shout out to Russell County, the home team, shout out to class of 2011. Russell County played Carroll of Ozark, if I'm not mistaken. Carroll of Ozark won 32-0. And what I found very, very interesting, I was streaming the game on YouTube. If you'd have told me in high school, Tyler, Russell County would have it to where you can stream the game on YouTube with not bad presentation. The presentation was good. I enjoyed it. And, yeah, overall, shout out to Russell County. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. Those young men look focused. Like I say, 32-0 for the first game of the season for Russell County. If you know, you know. So shout out to Russell County. Shout out to Troy University as well, the school that actually gave me my degree. Looking forward to see what the Troy Trojans do this season in the Sun Belt Conference. But y'all know I'm here to talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes. A lot going on in the college football world. I'm sure y'all going to hear about it, especially this week, with it being officially week 1. All the pregame shows, during the games, y'all going to hear about the different changes in the college football world, a new era. If it ever was a new era in college football, this year would definitely be it. 12-team playoff format. We know about that. Numerous coaching changes. The shakeups with the different conferences, the SEC, the Big Ten. With that comes network changes with CBS and ESPN, all that stuff. I'm going to save y'all the details on all that, but if you know, you know. In terms of the 12-team college football playoff, I did see discussions and charts and everything about the seeding, how that's going to go, the bye weeks and all that. Like I say, throughout this whole week, I'm sure y'all going to see different explanations of the 12-team format. I'm looking forward to see how it play out. I'm really looking forward to see how this play out. They did say the national champion will be crowned. The latest it's been crowned January 20th. About 2 weeks, I'll say, maybe before the Super Bowl. But normally, college football, I'll say the latest might have been, the 10th, maybe the 12th. But we got the 20th this year in January. A lot of things to talk about with the 12-team playoff. We'll talk about that throughout most of the year, I'm sure. But like I said before, I'm here to talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes. A lot of things to get into. Of course, my expectations, impact players, Ryan Day, the head coach. But let's start with the schedule. I think that's the best place for me to start with Ohio State. Let's talk about the schedule. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have the schedule up on the screen. So now, like I said, with many shakeups going on in the Big Ten and everything, I was surprised. Of course, the schedule, I believe, been out, but I was surprised not to see USC or UCLA on our schedule, but we do have Oregon coming over. And I think with the Big Ten, There's no more East and West. I think it's just all one conglomerate now, so that'll be interesting. But like I said, Ohio State, our schedule, first 3 games, tune-ups. Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall. We start conference play against Michigan State on the 28th of September. Michigan State haven't been the Michigan State of old, but it's conference play, the first conference game. And my expectations for that, by the first 3 games, we should just get everything in order. In terms of new quarterback, Will Howard, who I'm going to get to later, running backs, wide receivers. We need somebody tight end, step up with Cade Stover gone. Offensive line, most importantly. And Ryan Day's play calling. The defense looks stacked. And like I said, I'm going to get to all that later. The defense looks stacked, but for the first 3 games, I am looking forward to see what goes on with Will Howard at quarterback, Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator as well. I'm very intrigued to see how that goes. After Michigan State, we got Iowa. Preseason ranking has Iowa at number 25. So let's say the game is October 5th. So let's say by then, let's see if Iowa can stay undefeated. That'd be a great game. But what I got circled on my calendars, mid-season, what I got circled at the moment, number 2 Ohio State versus number 3 Oregon. That's going to be the key game for me early in the season, the Oregon game. Oregon, first year in the Big Ten, one of the favorites to win the Big Ten. That'll be a slap in the face, definitely. They let Oregon come in their first season and win the Big Ten. Because the only other competition is Ohio State. Because Michigan, we'll see how that goes. Penn State, we'll see how it goes. USC, UCLA, all the other teams. But in terms of the 2 top teams in the Big Ten, you can say it's Oregon and Ohio State. And that should be a primetime game against Oregon. Like I said, at the moment, Ohio State ranked number 2, Oregon ranked number 3. Who knows, by then it could be a 1 versus 2 matchup. So that is what I definitely got circled on my calendar early in the season. After that, we got Nebraska. I'm not sleeping on none of these teams, by the way. Because of the the Purdue loss we had some years ago, I always take it week by week. I'm never like a for sure thing with Ohio State, especially with Ryan Day as head coach. Nebraska after Oregon. After Nebraska, we got Penn State, who's ranked number 8 right now in preseason ranking. So if they stay undefeated by then, that'll be another big game. Purdue, shortly after Penn State, that's always a trap game for me. I don't care what the stats look like, what's the predictions. Purdue, I'm probably traumatized by that loss we had against Purdue some years ago, honestly. Northwestern after Purdue, Indiana after that, and, of course, we wrap up the season going up against Michigan. So, overall, the schedule, we got some preseason rank. We got number 25, Iowa, a couple top 10 teams, Oregon, Penn State. We'll see how it goes. Michigan, but a lot of people waiting to see how Michigan play out this season. But we'll see how it goes. So, schedule-wise, nothing really shocking to me. Like I said, I definitely have the Oregon game circled, but I don't want to look too far ahead. But outside of the schedule, head coach Ryan Day. I had Ryan Day on the hot seat last season, so it's more of the same. You've yet to beat Michigan. Let's just start there. That alone has the clock ticking. Now we got the new 12-team format. Ohio State, one of the favorites to come out, whoop-de-whoop. A lot of pressure. It's been 10 years damn near since we won a championship. And throughout those 10 years, you see the talent that's come in, the talent that's gone to the NFL, and it's a head scratcher. Like, why hasn't Ohio State been able to get over the hump after 10 years? Ohio State hired Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator. It's not a question of can Ohio State get it done this season. Ryan Day has to get it done, or he's probably out the door. It's a win or go home season for Ryan Day. Too much talent has come through with nothing to show for. I want to say, when I was doing my research, trying to figure out what to talk about with Ryan Day, I was trying to figure out what are the big games Ryan Day had. You didn't beat Michigan not once. So what else have you done? I'll say the USC Rose Bowl game. That Clemson game in the playoffs when we beat Clemson, but we got our ass whooped by Alabama next. That Clemson game, that was probably the most flawless Ohio State game I've seen. That's the team I want to see week in and week out. So outside of not being Michigan, last season was a debacle. I was saying that week by week on this podcast how I was like, I can't remember the fucking quarterback name we had last season because he transferred now. But Marvin Harrison was his safety net. Like I said, we couldn't beat Michigan, didn't win the bowl game. It was just tragic. And after the bowl game, I was waiting to get an alert on my phone saying, breaking news, Ohio State has fired head coach Ryan Day. I was looking to see that last season. They brought him back, and you bring in Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. Ryan Day, win or go home. Win or go home. You got to run the table. I don't think we can afford a loss. 12-team format, yeah, if you lose one, maybe 2 games. That was the thing about college football, though. Every Saturday counted. Now with this 12-team format, you can afford 1 or 2 losses. But I would love to go undefeated. I don't want to lose to Oregon, Penn State, Michigan again, slip up against Purdue or Nebraska or somebody. This need to be a statement run, a statement season for Ryan Day. Just his coaching ability and the way he operates, the way the team operates, the mindset. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see just I don't want to say swag, but the demeanor of the team this season. That's what I'm looking forward to the most outside of the actual gameplay of Ohio State football. I'm looking to see the demeanor of the athletes. So very, very intriguing on that part. And let's talk about the players, my impact players. First, new quarterback, Will Howard, the Kansas State transfer. I'm not going to sit here and act like I watch YouTube clips of him or nothing. I'll see week by week what I think of him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can have one good season here and you transfer here. It doesn't look the same. Play calling, schemes, all that may change up. I'll judge him week to week throughout the season. But in terms of what he did at Kansas State last year, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 2,600 yards, 61 percentage completion. But you got Chip Kelly as your offensive coordinator. And what I seen during my research, they're saying with Will Howard experience matched with Chip Kelly, offensive play calling, we could see a better version of JT Barrett. That's the report I saw. I'm not sure the reporter name who wrote the article, but he's saying he's looking to see if he could be a better version of JT Barrett, who was a beloved Ohio State Buckeye. So that alone gives me some hope. Be like, okay, we go see. That's my thing, though. We go see. I got to wait till I see it on the field. I got to wait till I see the product on the field before I can make a judgment. So we'll see how it goes at quarterback with Will Howard. More impact players, Travion Henderson at running back. Same thing year after year with him. Can he stay healthy? Can Travion Henderson stay healthy? Emeka Egbuka coming back for his senior year, wide receiver. Who else can step up? Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith. Those are 2 names I'm seeing in the wide receiver position to look out for outside of Emeka Egbuka. Quinshawn Judkins. I hope I say his name right. Quinshawn Judkins, backup running back. Like I say, Travion Henderson, injury history. Get him some rest time. Can we have a backup running back come in and get us some yards as well and get out the backfield and protect the quarterback in certain situations? Looking forward to see how that play out. But what I am confident about is the defense. That's one thing about Ohio State, and I always say it year after year. Statistic-wise, number-wise, Ohio State always have a good defense. It's just certain games you see where the hole's at. Doesn't matter if it's a Michigan game, a Penn State game, a game against Marshall. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you'll see holes, but at the end of the day, we do get the victory, and you see the opposing team score. It's like, well, they only scored 10 points. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but we got to compete with the other guys. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, defense loaded. Jack Sawyer, Ty Hamilton, JT, Denzel Burt, Lathan Ransom. That's what I'm looking for to see the most. Ransom, see what he does in the secondary. Caleb Downs, the transfer from Alabama, looking for a big year from him. Jordan Hancock. We loaded on defense. We are loaded on defense. What I'm looking for the defense, get QB pressure, that front 4, front 7, do his job at secondary. I want the secondary to be like a no-fly zone. You know how like Darrell Reeves had Reeves Island? I want Ransom or somebody like that to have Denzel Burke or somebody to be one of them lockdown safeties or lockdown corners. I'd love to see that. I just want an overall, like, you know how you got spurts, like how LSU had that spurt that year, how Ohio State had that spurt with Ezekiel Elliott. I want one of those seasons where, damn, it's like a magical season. I would love that. I would love for Ryan Day to shut me up and everybody else up. I would love to be wrong about Ryan Day. But what I've seen throughout the past few years, man, we got to get over the hump. The Clemson hump, we got over, but yet the Michigan hump, the national championship game hump, it's just certain things Ryan Day hasn't achieved for Ohio State for us to be like, all right, he can stick around a little bit longer. We haven't seen that yet. Like I said, last season, I had him on the hot seat. This season, more of the same. And all eyes will be on Ohio State this season. But we'll see how it goes. Like I said, for the first few weeks, we got some tune-up matches, conference play against Michigan State at the end of September. But early in the season, I'm waiting to see how we look against Oregon. Week by week, I want to see adjustments. I want to see perfection, because when we get to that Oregon game, that's going to be the one. Definitely in terms of preseason predictions and all that, that game is circled. So we'll see how it goes. And this weekend, Ohio State, the game is at 3:30 on CBS. Saturday, well, this weekend in general, with football back in general, is going to be one of those weekends. We got high school football Friday. Either I'm going to pull up to the game, we play Eufaula, Russell County play Eufaula. I might pull up to the game, or like I said, I can stream it on YouTube. So that's Friday. Saturday, 12 noon, we got UGA versus Clemson. That's a big one. 1 o'clock p.m., we got Bash in Berlin. So I'm gonna have the TV on, football, and my phone, I'll be streaming the Bash in Berlin event. 3:30 Ohio State. And I'm sure we got some late night games that'll be interesting. Matter of fact, some more games to look out for this weekend. We got Miami versus Florida, Notre Dame versus Texas A&M, and we got USC going up against LSU. So this weekend, like it'll be a lazy weekend. I've been waiting for football to come back. The Olympics held me down enough. Watching some Braves games here and there, they held me down, but it's nothing like knowing, okay, Thursday night football, high school football, college, NFL shortly. I got a fantasy draft to do actually later on tonight. So NFL will be back soon. A lot of network changes in terms of what games will be played on what networks. A lot of that's going on this season with college and NFL. I guess get in where you fit in. Me personally, I'm not paying for no more streaming. That's what ESPN and all that for, to show me highlights. YouTube, I could watch the highlights on YouTube, but as long as I can see some good games, interesting games, I'm cool. But I ain't about to be paying for the Prime and this over here and that over there. And, like, bro, just give me one good package for a solid price. Like, that's all I'm asking for, man. So, yeah, Ohio State, looking forward to see how it play out. And college football all around. I'm happy it's back in rotation. Now let's switch lanes, going to the wrestling world. A few things to talk about with wrestling. We got the WWE Premium Live event going down this Saturday, Bash in Berlin. Start time at 1 p.m. They are in Germany, so that's why we got the early start time. And actually, as I'm recording, real soon will be the AEW All In event in London. And all I'm hoping for is a great, solid event with no drama, because we know what happened at last year's All In event in London with CM Punk, Jack Perry, and all that. So hopefully the drawback, the reviews for this event will be all positive, just a great card overall and no backstage drama. So we'll see how it play out. But I'm here to talk about Bash in Berlin. Bash in Berlin, overall, the card is decent. I'm not really sure the direction they were trying to go with this card, because at the moment, the biggest story is Roman Reigns have returned. So he's going with Solo and the new bloodline. And a lot of people are anticipating Survivor Series to be the climax of that. But we do have the Bad Blood event in October as well. So We'll see how long they play that out. And that's probably the biggest story at the moment that's not on the card. They do have Chad Gable going back and forth with the Wyatt Six. We'll see how that play out. Big Bronson Reed on Raw. They're really pushing him. SmackDown is SmackDown. I think SmackDown is waiting for the USA changeover and Raw to make the Netflix change. And I think SmackDown will get up on the up and up because the biggest match from SmackDown is the Cody Rhodes-Kevin Owens match. And I guess I'll start there when talking about this card. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens for the undisputed title. The funny thing about it, just the way they drawing this story up is kind of a head scratcher. So the thing is, Cody and Kevin Owens are friends, right? So who brought it up? It wasn't the Bloodline who brought it up. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller brought up the fact that Kevin Owens always betray his friends or tag partners. Sami Zayn a few times, John Cena, who else it was? It was somebody else, random. Chris Jericho. I was surprised they even mentioned Chris Jericho on that program. And a few more people. And Cody was like, are you going to do it to me? And Kevin like, I'm not going to betray you. And I'm like, y'all got a match together. So it doesn't matter if he betrays you or not. Y'all gonna wrestle each other regardless for the belt. Like, what are you supposed to do? Just lay down and let you count to 1, 2, 3? Like, no, you're going to wrestle the man regardless. So it doesn't matter if he betrays you. He should betray you. You're his opponent. So that's kind of weird. I was like, not like y'all going for the tag team titles or something like that. Y'all facing each other one-on-one. It's supposed to be just a friendly match, but it's for the belt. So it's like, of course it was just kind of weird. But I got Cody Rhodes winning that match. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, strap match. They're keeping that feud going. What a climax for a strap match. I haven't seen the strap match since Eddie Guerrero and JBL, I feel like. So they're making this feud very, very personal. Big Bronson Reed took out Seth Rollins, so I guess they keeping Seth Rollins and CM Punk away from each other for the time being. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a WrestleMania match, a Royal Rumble match. Who knows? But that is still the big feud I think they got to do with CM Punk. But this Drew McIntyre feud is doing what it's supposed to do. They are doing a very, very good job with the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre story. Strap match. Does I guess Punk get his win back because Drew McIntyre defeated him at SummerSlam. So I'm guessing CM Punk get his get back at the strap with this strap match, and it'll be a very interesting match. I need some blood. I need some blood in that strap match. That'll be a very, very interesting match. A mixed tag match. Wow, finally somebody at the table realized, hey, we can do like mixed tag matches. We got Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley going up against Dominic Mysterio and Liv. We know the story with Dom, Liv, and Rhea. Now it seems that Rhea and Damian Priest have been exiled from the Judgment Day. They added Liv Morgan to the mix. A mixed tag match. I've been calling for a mixed tag match with Rhea Ripley and Dom and Judgment Day in general for the past year or so. I feel like that's what's been missing. Like when you, especially now with these talented women they have in the company, imagine like a well thought out mixed tag match. I'm sure this is going to be great as well. But I think they could do way more with a mixed tag. Like, imagine one day we finally get Bianca Belair and Montel Ford mixed tag match. Like, that would be dope to see. I'm going to go with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. I mean, them two together, Rhea can take out Liv. Rhea can take out Liv and Dom probably by herself, honestly, if I'm being 1,000% with y'all. J.D. McDonough and Carlito and Fed. I think Damian Priest and Rhea are going to fight off the Judgment Day because I'm sure they're going to have some outside interference, but I'm going to go with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley with that. Gunther and Randy Orton going for the World Heavyweight title. Gunther's the champion. He won it at SummerSlam, so I'm going with Gunther holding the belt till at least WrestleMania, probably even after that. Randy, yeah, it's some get back from the King of the Ring match. Hell, like was Randy's shoulder down, and so that's good to come back to that. But as Gunther first defense, I was like, once again, what's the purpose of having the draft after WrestleMania if you're just gonna go away with it 3 months down the line? Like Randy Orton just came back on Raw. I'm like, man, you're supposed to be on SmackDown. So that's why I always say, what's the purpose of having the draft when nothing really changes and you're gonna do away with it within 2 to 3 months? So it is odd to have that Gunther first title defense against Randy Orton, but I got Gunther winning. I'm sure he's going to have some outside interference, but he really don't need it. That's one thing about Gunther with these title matches. Like, he doesn't need outside interference. So I really don't expect any, but it should be a good match. And, yeah, we'll see what happens with Randy, because I thought they were for sure going to try to do the Randy Cody Rhodes story eventually. But we'll see how it goes. But I got Gunther beating Randy Orton. And recently, Nick Aldis, SmackDown GM, he announced a women's tag team title match. We got the champions, the Unholy Union, going up against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. All of them could think that Bianca and Jade will win because, one, that is a hot potato tag title. So I'm going with Bianca and Jade to win that title back. And LA Knight announced that he's going to make an open challenge to anybody who want to show up at Bash in Berlin for a United States title match. I'm going to just guess Carmelo Hayes is going to show up and LA Knight's going to win. I don't think we're going to get a big surprise or nothing like that. I think it's going to be Carmelo Hayes, but we'll see how that goes. So overall, my predictions for WWE Bash in Berlin: CM Punk, Drew McIntyre strap match. I got CM Punk winning. Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley going up against Dom and Liv, mixed tag match. I got Damian Priest and Rhea winning. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed title. I have Cody Rhodes winning. Gunther going up against Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight title. I have Gunther winning. Women's tag, Unholy Union, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. I have Jade and Bianca winning. And LA Knight, open challenge, U.S. title. I'm just going to guess Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight's going to win that match. Now, to wrap up this episode, I want to talk about some music. But first, I want to show Lucky Daye some love. On my vacation, I went to go see Lucky Daye in concert at the House of Blues. Very, very entertaining show. Very entertaining show. The only knock I got, and I'm going to say knock because it's something Lucky Daye needs to talk to his team with. I'm not sure the Orlando, 'cause I went to Orlando. I'm not sure the venues they got in Orlando, but House of Blues, he needed a bigger venue. He needed a bigger venue. Like, I'll kid y'all not, for like the first 4 songs, I'm on the second level because the first level flooded. I walked in, the first level flooded, they got the bar. I'm like, man, I just go upstairs. I ain't trying to sit in no line and try to get attention at the bar. I'm going upstairs. Upstairs a lot more spacious, but it got crowded eventually, but at the time it was spacious. So I was up on the second floor. Like the first 4 or 5 songs, I couldn't even see Lucky Daye. You can't even, like, and y'all know I'm kind of tall, so I'm on my tippy toes. I can't even look over people and see them on stage. They got TVs up there, so I was watching the TV for most. So then I went downstairs, found a cool little spot, got a good show. Very entertaining show. The mic was on. He had fans come on stage. Very, very well put set list too, by the way. And Lucky Daye just talented. And I put it on my Twitter. I was like, yo, when we talk about R&B, we can't leave Lucky Daye name out. Because I personally picked Lucky Daye concert over Party Next Door. Like, when Party, I looked at Party schedule, I was like, Now, I went to the lots, and I said, well, Party Lucky. I said, I go with Lucky Daye. I know his stage presence top tier. I enjoy his songs, his catalogs, and I know he gonna bring them out. And he brought them out in Orlando, that's for sure. So shout out to Lucky Daye. Next up with music, talk about some albums and talk about this Drake situation, the Lil Yachty situation. I do want to touch on that as well. But first, in terms of albums, Larry June dropped Doing It For Me album a few weeks ago, 16 tracks, no features, and the name is very fitting for this album because it's a very Larry June sounding album. It's damn near like Larry June doing an impression of Larry June, and I mean that in a good way. He's at the point now where he's cruising. He got to the currency stage, I feel like, very quickly with streaming, and I believe Larry June, he got to be independent the way he moved with the merchandise, doing events for his fans to come out to in California in different settings and all that, and just the lifestyle and what his content is about. Like, you really can't hate the man content. He talk about just chilling, getting money, making sure your situations in order, taking care of your family. It's very positive, but still some hustling aspect to it as well, getting your money, doing what you're supposed to do. He very, very, like, adult age appropriate. Like, at this point in my life, I really appreciate the content Larry June has and the fan base he's built. I feel like if I got a show here, you pull up, no riff-raff, none of that going on, everybody cool, calm, collected, just like Spitter, just like Currency. I think at this point, some songs I like on here. Magnum PI, 3-piece, Real Talk, Imported Couches, Like a Mat, Dreams. It's a Larry June project. If you like Larry June, it's going to be songs on here you enjoy. At this point, you just comparing this project to the last project, to the project before. That's all Larry June at this point in his career. But what I like to see from Larry June moving forward, the next 3, maybe 4 projects from Larry June, I wouldn't be mad if they collabs. I want to see another Peas in the Pod with Jay Worthy. We need to finally get the Spitter Currency collab project with Larry June. That's really probably what I'm waiting on the most from this year. Will we finally get the Larry June Currency collab album? We've been waiting on it for years at this point. And I would like to see Larry June link up with Dom Kennedy. Because they be like, Currency and Dom Kennedy, you get Larry June, basically. So I would love to see that. Jay Worthy, Currency, and Dom Kennedy with Larry June collabs. I'd like to see that. Next up, Benny the Butcher, Summertime Butch. I'm surprised Benny dropped this, honestly. Like, Benny, I think it's more for his independent label, Black Soprano, but I was surprised to see it. It's Benny, he's rapping. You're going to find something on there you like. That's not the story here, right? So he dropped the Summertime Butch. Then this past weekend, he dropped a little 3-pack, right? The 3-pack has the Buffalo Freestyle with Drake on it. Keep in mind, this Buffalo Freestyle song with Drake, if you keep up with Benny, he's been asked about this and talked about this in interviews since at least 2020. Definitely 2021. So if you're a fan of Benny and Griselda, you knew Benny had 1, maybe 2 Drake songs in the cut. And people were waiting like, okay, is it going to be on the Hit Boy album? Is it going to be on the Alchemist? Like, people were waiting for Benny to drop the Buffalo Freestyle song with Drake. Eventually, the song leaked. It's been out for a while now, whatever. But people was happy to see, like, okay, Benny finally putting it out. Cool. But at the same time, on Drake's side of things, people are asking, well, why all of a sudden now Drake would like to clear that record? Because Benny, Drake, they rapping. When I first heard Benny getting with Drake, I was like, damn, already jumping to the mainstream. But they was like, nah, it's more of timestamp Drake and Benny rapping. So if you're a Benny fan, you did like the song. But in terms of Drake, you like, damn, now all of a sudden you want to clear that record. Speaking of Drake, going to him now off of Benny, he dropped the 100 Gigs thing and 3 songs, 1 with Lotto, 1 with Thug and 21. He just dropped 3 more songs on his burner account on Instagram, which I find kind of weird. It's like, fam, you're Drake. Your fans are going to find out this is you doing that. And I'm like, why don't you just put them out just regular? Like, the way Drake moved in the past month or so has been very, very strange. The 100 Gigs thing was definitely strange. Because one thing about me, and I want to shout out Larry June. I want to go back real quick. Shout out Larry June. He dropped like a docuseries, too, for his album. But Drake doing the 100 Gigs, it had like documentary-style videos. And that was always the thing with me, like growing up off of Wiz Khalifa's Day-to-Day series on YouTube, Gucci Mane, Hood Affair DVDs. Those vlogs and documentaries are great for fans. Like for me, when I listen to Cushion Orange Juice and watch Wiz Day-to-Days from Cushion Orange Juice era, I was like, damn, that was my senior year. It was like a time capsule. So Drake doing that for like Nothing Was the Same and Take Care and Views, it was dope to see. But at the same time, like, bro, we could have been got this. And it ain't like the documentary like a well put together. It was just like legit, like, okay, you got a camera, they in the studio. It was good behind the scenes, but I'm like, bro, if you would have dropped this back then, that would be like a great time capsule. Now it's like people was taking it as he's saying, don't forget what I did for y'all. Don't forget I did this type of It's like, fam, we don't forget. It just, the music does sound different after everything that's transpired. I'm listening to the content. I'm listening to the lyrics. The only song that's somewhat cool that he's dropped within this past month or so was the one with Yachty on it. Now Yachty not on it. When they sampled the Mr. Hotspot guy. And I don't know if I forgot what it called. I don't know if it Super Soak. I think called Super Soak. That one, the beat and all that, I was like, cool. But everything else, I just been like, I've been listening to. I be just no facial expression. I just be like, no, this ain't it, man. I don't know what it is bruh can do. He went to Gordo again. They did like honestly, never mind, like that house music. He did that. Sexy Red songs, and it's like nothing's sticking. Nothing's sticking. It's been the narrative going on. There was like, could this be a 50 Cent Ja Rule? And it's like, it's crazy to think because it's like, okay, Ja Rule was popping when 50 did that, but Drake, like, is Drake. So if that happens to him, that's bigger than 50 Ja Rule. And Kendrick has said nothing. Bruh, drop his songs. Bruh did the concert. He dropped the video, and he back in his hole. And that was the funny part about all this. Everybody like, yeah, we know after this, Kendrick, y'all not going to hear from Kendrick again another year or so. We like, that's the dope part about it. I came out, I caught a body real quick. Now I'm going back to minding my business. Meanwhile, Drake just dropping, and nothing is sticking. Trust me, if you put out an undeniable one, people will be like, hey, man, I ain't going to lie. That new Drake sounding pretty. But it just like, he just throwing them out. He's like, and then he's not really officially releasing them songs. Like, he just putting them on Instagram and stuff and quote-unquote leaking them. It's just weird all around, so we'll see if he get it together or not. We'll see. And in terms of Lil Yachty, he just crashed out. He crashed out. The girl in his old group, Caribou, he crashed out on her. He crashed out on his co-host on the podcast in front of Key Glock. And it just, man, put the phone down, dog. Like, it's crazy that it's Drake and Yachty because they like besties now or whatever. It's just crazy to see. It seems as if those two particular are like going off the deep end, all thanks to the internet, where you could just be mysterious and go back in your hole like Kendrick Lamar. But I don't know. It's been a very, very interesting month in terms of music. Lotto dropped the song. Not the song. Lotto dropped the album. 38 Special dropped the album. A$AP Rocky pushed his album back. I was going to come over here and get y'all, like I did with Big Sean a couple weeks ago, A$AP Rocky career-wise, but he pushed it back to like later this year, so whenever that comes, I'll do that for A$AP. Big Sean has still yet to release his album. I think he said he pushed his back as well. Yeah. All around, it's just been a lot of riffraff. Nothing really too crazy going on in music, but that Yachty and Drake situation have definitely been like something I was like, I don't know if it's just me. Like I told my boy Vontae, I don't know if I want to overreact, but that Drake shit ain't sounding the same no more. And I go back and listen to Nothing Was the Same and Thank Me Later. I'm still that guy. I still go back and listen to his old stuff because the newer stuff just haven't been doing it for me. But we'll see how it play out. But overall, I'm glad to have the podcast back in rotation. Had to take a vacation, man. Had to go out, get some time for myself, reflect real quick, get the perspective all back in order and all that. College football back. NFL be back very soon. NBA will be back very, very soon. And I'm just keep this thing in motion. I appreciate all y'all for checking in, tuning in. Go out, have a great work week, great school week, great vacation, whatever you're doing. If you're taking time off and just want to relax. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of people appreciate that aspect. Sometimes you just got to relax. Like just get Uber Eats, take out whatever, and just chill, man. Just get your rest up. Drink plenty of water. Drink your fruits. Eat your fruits. Drink your fruits. If you're doing smoothies, your vegetables and all that. Keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all, man. Salute.